Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. How you doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, with my good friend, the lumberjack landlord, Matt. How you doing, buddy?
I'm super excited to be here and scared out of my mind for for
For this topic, yeah,
segment.
I'm about to kick you in the shin.
Yes, yes, just don't go higher.
Yeah, no, just the shin.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know if you've noticed, Matt, on social media and YouTube, that people like to talk about going full time, quitting their jobs,
Yeah.
jumping into real estate, because it's easy. And you got a decent portfolio, over 70 units. You've been doing this a while. You know what you're doing. But apparently you're a coward.
I am.
You're still working.
Yes, I am. Yep. I still work a 60-hour a week software job. I do.
High stress, 90-day cycles,
Yes.
Got a team, got to grow, got a mentor, QBRs.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that life.
And you know what they say? It's a whole lot easier to fire the guy in charge than it is to fire reps. Well, I'm the guy in charge, so it's the worst. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. So, a little stressful. Even when you're good at it, it's stressful, right? Because you got to call a number, you got to manage quarters. The last five days are the most, 80% of the rev. I get it, right? I've been there, and you have a tremendous track record. So I just got to ask, why are you still working? Why don't you follow all these people on social media and YouTube and quit your damn job?
Yeah, because I only have 500 subs.
Oh, so it's YouTube's fault.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell, people? Help me out. I want to just quit my job. Damn. No, honestly, there are parts of my job that I like.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that I need to be, for me, I never want to go back. So when I leave, I need to know that I know that it's okay to leave. I'm never going to go back to it.
Right.
And so that's really the thing for me, is I want to know that I'm really 100% ready to leave. For me, it's been, I got into high tech early. So I'm 44. I've been into high tech for 25 years.
Yeah.
I started when I was 19. And so it's been a long, long time. And Mike, as you know, tech is kind of like, it's like half dog years. So 3.5 years for every year you're in there. Cause it's just like you said, so QBRs, like those are basically quarterly business reviews. That's what the QBR stands for those of you who don't know, which basically is you standing up in front of executive leadership and telling them how you're going to get there. And let me just tell you, there is no not getting there, especially in a QBR, especially if you by chance blow out your number the previous quarter or year, like I have always done.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah. The only thing you get is more quota. That's the only thing you get. Hey, you did so well. Here's more quota. So yeah, I think for me is I get really scared when I see people being successful at something for a year or two and then just so quickly run away from the job.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple of things. I just want, the first thing for me is, especially, like if you have kids, right? It's one thing if you're single, you're 20, 22 and you want to take a shot.
Sure.
As Gary
never
says,
had that little debt.
Yeah. Go for it. Right. Sure. Take a shot. But when you're, 32 and you're middle management, you're the rat race is eating you alive because you got a mortgage payment, 2 car payments, and you're just not happy. And then you're like, hey, honey, I'm going to quit. I'm going to go do this wholesale thing or whatever. That's, it could work out. It could, but you could also win the lottery, right? It's
sure. Yeah. I think you have to, I think that's what a lot of people have to keep in mind. That's what they really have to be focused on, is understanding that if what you're doing, I always like to tell people, if you're going to quit your day job and quit what you're doing, then make as much as you're making your day job doing whatever that substitute job is. And you can do them both. And that's the grind, right? That's the grind that you're doing for a number of years. And that's just the way it goes. Like, Mike, how many years did you keep on selling software after you bought your first property?
15 years. Yeah. And that's the key, folks. I fully support building a portfolio or something in real estate where you can quit your job, but I want you to get to a point where your side hustle, replaces the income from the day job. That's freedom. Jumping out of a, 50, 60, 80, 100K job when you have no other income and you have $8,000 in debt a month, that will get very stressful very quickly.
Yeah, and I think, people are always, talking about, well, I'm not happy in my job. Well, okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Most people aren't, like,
Yeah.
especially after you've done it for 10, 15,
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah. I never looked
But
forward to a QBR. Let me just tell you. Never.
yeah, exactly.
That was never going
But
to be a highlight.
yeah, you think you're not happy in your job. Wait until you don't have your job and those bills keep on coming in, then you're gonna be miserable. Like, that's all I'm saying is just take that into account, because the other thing too is, how we tie all this back into real estate is my bank flat out tells me I am easier to write a deal with because I have a big W-2 job.
I was glad we went there because that's what I want people to hear. Even if you're miserable in your job, I want you to change your mindset, right?
Yeah.
Create this financial freedom thing, do the choices exercise we've talked about, and then realize that the day job is there to feed your vision, feed your dream, and to be bankable.
That's right.
Be
That's right.
bankable, right?
That's right.
You want cheap
Especially,
ass 30-year debt? Be bankable. I can't get
especially
it. I don't have a day job.
Yeah, especially with FHA, right, Mike? They
Yeah.
want 2 years in the same job. So if you're self-employed, buckle up, because it is hard. It
Yeah.
is hard. We know guys, on YouTube. I know a couple of them that they make a ton of money on YouTube. You know how much the mortgage company cared?
Zero.
Didn't care. Couldn't care less. They're just like, well, but I could buy the house for cash. I go, yeah, you should do that then.
Yeah, good. Good for you. Go for it.
Exactly. Am I need a loan again? Shoo, be away.
Go away. Yeah.
And that's the thing is now there's vendors like the non-QMs, Mike, that
Mhm.
you bring on with Velocity and
Mhm.
Steven, and they're fantastic and they're great. You're going to pay a higher rate.
Yeah.
And again, that's a higher rate. They do have 30-year product, but now you're talking about what, like 6%?
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
I mean,
But
so
underwrite the deal at 6. Yeah.
double what you would be paying. So look at the cost of opportunity that it has for you.
Mhm.
Because if you have, for me, I've got 25 years in the same industry, 7, 8 years in the same job. They don't even think about it. It's a foregone conclusion. They basically, all I have to call and say is, hey, I'm looking at this property. They're like, how much is it? I was like, here's how much it is. They're like, okay, we'll have a pre-approval letter over to you.
Yeah.
And that's the advantage I have because I've set everything up that way. So yeah, if you're thinking, I got to get out of the rat race, I got to get out of this job. No, you don't. You need to look at it and understand if you want to get into one of these other things, like what Mike and I do and buy and hold real estate, you need that job, especially while you're acquiring properties in the beginning, especially.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Yeah. Again, you need a W-2 job. If you want to get, cheap ass mortgage rates under 4%, the first 10, keep your day job. And again, I tell you, just change your mindset.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. You hate your job. It seems like an American reality. We all hate our job. We all hate our boss. But you know what? Go to work realizing it's a tool. It's a tool to build your financial freedom, right? You're just laying one brick at a time. And if you change that mindset and you get excited about, hey, I'm one day closer, I'm one day closer, I'm one day closer, that's not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's a means to an end. And for the record, I don't hate my boss.
Yeah. Just in case he watches. All right. Touche. Oh, touche. That's funny.
So lots of opportunity, like you said, Mike, but you have to, that W-2 job will mean the difference of you getting a loan approved at a much better rate. Mm-hmm. It will drop the cost of that rental. It will make the numbers work a whole lot better. Yeah. A whole lot better. And I'm not saying that you have to keep on working your job like me for 25 years. I mean, I started acquiring property 20 years ago,
right?
Or 22 years ago. I still have my job now. I'll still keep my job until I know that I'm 100 and 1,000% done, and I'm never going to go back to it. When I leave, I will be retiring from software.
Is it fair to say that will come before you're 50?
Yo, yeah. Yeah. I'm racing the Zuber clock. You're 45, right?
Yeah.
You're 45 and you did it. Yeah. It's funny. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine probably a week or so ago about that. And I just turned 44. Ooh. So I've got another year of contemplation. Honestly, it really just kind of depends on how the market goes, what we see, mm-hmm. For us, as a family, I've got 3 young kids and I've got a wife that is a nurse, mm-hmm. But she's loving being home with the kids right now. And so, so it really just kind of depends on the family dynamic. But yeah, I think if I'm still doing this 5 more years from now, I've overstayed the party.
Okay.
So it's definitely, I would say almost absolutely going to be in the next 5 years. The funny thing is my goal was to be retired at 40.
Okay.
And then I looked at everything around me and I just said, we're just about to start having kids. The
Right.
business is growing unbelievably quickly. My W-2 job is growing unbelievably quickly. I have a great place in the market. And I just said, now's not the right time to leave. I'm going to regret it.
Yeah.
And so I've stuck for another 4 years, and we now evaluate kind of on a 12
Annual
to 24
basis.
month basis. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, again, like you, I love my job. Once you kind of figure it out, you can live with the stress. You kind of become numb to it, and you almost can,
right.
I can almost tell you how every QBR is going to go. This is what's going to happen.
Yes.
I've done this dance enough times. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Shocking. It's what I expected.
And you keep that one guy around who's horrible to make sure that he always takes the heat.
Yeah. Lash him, beat him. Oh, those QBRs are so funny.
They're the worst.
Public shootings, public lynchings. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I've seen it all.
Happen. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd always planned to be done at 50. And then every year we got new quotas, new territories, new reporting structure, and they swung and missed. Strike one, strike two, strike three. You know what? We need to have a conversation. I'm done. I still remember going to work excited, get my new territory, my new patch. Oh, shoot. You gave me exactly what I didn't want.
Yes.
Yes, we're done.
Yeah, it was really funny. I had that same experience in the last job that I had, and that's when I really strongly considered it. I had that exact experience, which was, I was like, all right, this is the product set. This is what we're doing. I'd taken a product much like you had done, from basically off the map, not being paid attention to, kind of abandoned, to absolute, number one in Gartner's report. And loving it, having a blast. They said, yeah, we're going to have you build the team, the whole 9 yards. Somebody else upstairs made a slight change to that. And all of a sudden I was reporting to the two biggest a-holes in the company.
Oh, yes.
And I love the product. And then they said, oh yeah, by the way, you're actually not going to be building out your team. You're actually part of the team. But the good news is we're going to let you choose your territory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was really funny. At that time, that was a company that still gave out sabbaticals. I said, so yeah, I'm actually going to take my sabbatical now. They're like, well, we're just getting started the year, Matt. Really not a good time. No, it's a good time. I'm going to take my sabbatical right now. So I took a 5-week sabbatical, which we were paid for after being at the company for over 5 years. And I took my sabbatical and I talked to my network, and I had a few job offers, and I was like, yeah, this is the one that I went with a startup. Yeah. And I walked in and they said, oh, hey, so good to see you. Make sure you're there at that 9 a.m. meeting. Sounds good. I walked into that guy's office 10 minutes later. I said, I just need to know who I go to quit to.
Yeah. Who should I give this resignation letter to? I'm not sure.
He's like, what? Wait, what? You just got back. Isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah, it's funny. How I used that 5 weeks.
Oh, so I was a large part of your plans for this year?
Oops. Shouldn't treat me like that.
Exactly. Maybe next time you'll be nicer.
There you go. Well, do me a favor. How can people be a part of your world?
lumberjacklandlord.com and Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, and here on Tuesdays, where we always just have an absolute blast.
Oh yeah.
And in One Rental at a Time, that Mike's course is just absolutely spectacular. You guys got to do it. Even getting your money right, Mike. I think we don't talk enough about that, but that course, I mean, the first 3 things that we tell people when they're looking into becoming real estate investors, none of them have to do with real estate.
No, it's right.
So you gotta get your money right. And not only that, but even if you look at that and you're like, okay, I can never be this disciplined, I guarantee you'll learn some things from that course that will help get you on a better financial trajectory for your life.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Thank you for that. Well, maybe we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks when I'm back from my little vacation.
Sounds good. Enjoy your vacation, Mike.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
See ya.
Mm-hmm.